Okay, guys, we are back with Doc and the Boxer, episode 54. I'm Andrew Singh Kooner, and this is
I'm Doc Green.
Doc Green. We missed a couple of weeks, but we're back into it right now. So we'll just go dive right into it, and we'll talk for. I'll first talk before we go into that. There was a death in the boxing family, and that was a couple weeks ago on a card actually in Montreal, and that was on the gym card, Group Yvonne Michelle card, in Montreal, and it was pretty tragic. Sorry, just give me 1 second here.
Do you know what happened exactly?
I don't know exactly what happened, but I mean I guess it was a bad knockout.
Yeah.
Um and then yeah, it was a bad knockout. And then she went into we're talking about Jeanette Zacharia Zapata from Mexico, who passed away in Montreal a couple weeks back, and her fight against Marie Pierre Hole, who was 4-0-1. Jeanette was 2-4. So let's just do our ceremonial 10 count for her. She was only 18 years old too.
Oh man, that's too young.
Yeah.
All right, you ready, bro?
Yeah. Oh, you're doing your count? Okay. A little bit louder. Don't be afraid to hit that.
You hear it?
There you go. Okay, that was it. That was good. Okay, Doc.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to Jeanette. You're definitely fired from this job.
Why? You couldn't hear it?
Oh, you gotta bang that thing, man.
Yeah, but I got an open concept house here, man.
But not. I mean, you don't have to bang it so loud, like stop. But like we gotta hear it a little bit.
No, what I'll do next time. Hopefully, it won't be next time too soon.
Yeah.
I'll hold this right near the bell.
Okay.
And the mic will pick it up.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You already are older. You can't hear us.
How do they get the listeners couldn't hear either? I think.
Yeah, probably.
But anyways,
last time too.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, so this fight, so the circumstances involved with this is that obviously it was her. Apparently she just fought 3 months prior to that and was knocked out pretty bad, and then but see, the matchmaker of Jim, Vincent Morin, said that if he saw the video, because he was shown the video after the death and all that, shown her video of her previous fight where she got knocked out pretty bad.
Yeah.
He said he wouldn't have made this fight. And now I guess the Quebec Combat Commission, whatever, is now investigating this to see. Well, regardless of whatever, I mean, I know Yvonne Michelle, and he's a great person. He's a great guy, and I'm sure they run a very professional organization, and everything they do there in boxing in Montreal and Quebec.
Yeah.
So
didn't we interview him on one of our episodes?
No, that was a coach. That was Mark Ramsey.
Oh, that was Ramsey. That's right.
Yeah. We had him on there. So anyway, so then we'll just the Quebec. It was the Quebec coroner's office that will launch a formal investigation. We'll see what happens with that. But regardless of it, it's sad. It's sad that it happened on Canadian soil too, like in our back garden per se. But I mean, it happened, and you can't come back from that. I mean, it's very sad.
Yeah, it sucks. It really sucks. I feel for the family.
This is
Young girl.
this is this is why we always when we talk about boxing, we don't discredit boxers and stuff. And you see it all
Exactly.
the time still. Like, I mean, people are putting their lives on the line, stepping in
Sure.
that ring, regardless of their level of capabilities, and if they're world champion or not. You know,
That's the truth.
yeah, the truth. Okay, Doc, then we'll just go over to a little bit happier news. Well, I mean, more boxing news, and we're talking about the fight card on the weekend that passed in Leeds, England, and that was a matchroom promoted by Eddie Han on the zone, and we had 20,000 fans there at Leeds in Leeds, England, and that's for to see the hometown guy, and that's Josh, the Leeds Warrior Warrington, who is now 30-1 and 7 KOs with this a technical draw against Mauricio Lara 23-2, one draw, 16 KOs. The fight ended very, very quickly. We didn't really get to see too much. But let's hear the doc's thoughts.
Yeah, so he got a bad.
And Doc, and remember, don't like talk too long because I can't remember everything.
So let's first talk about the cut. He got a cut in the second round. Warrington came in at him with his head a little bit low, and then when Warrington lifted his head, it caught him in a bad spot on the eyebrow. And then the doctor looked at it and waved the fight off, which was the right move, I think. What do you think?
The thing when it happened in the second round, we didn't know the severity of it because we didn't get that camera angle. And honestly, the thought was like, I was like, oh, it's just a headbutt. It didn't really look like much. But then you go in between the corner of the round in the second round, and it split like really bad.
Yeah.
So he can definitely not continue. You know that.
Yeah, no way. That so. Excuse me. Good call by the doctor.
Yeah,
I thought. And okay, let's talk about what we did get to see the first two rounds.
Okay.
So Warrington's one loss is from, or one draw is from this dude.
This dude. Yeah, no, that was the loss. The loss was one loss to Lara. Yeah. Lara knocked him out.
Yeah.
Stopped him.
Yeah, it was awesome. So what I saw was a tight Warrington. He looked tight. You can see, and he was very cautious coming in, but tight.
Yeah.
Lara looked relaxed, man, and he threw a few body shots, Lara, in a few of in both rounds. I thought I don't know, there was a vibe I got from those first two rounds that what's his name, Lara would take over as the longer the fight went. Yeah,
that's how I felt too. I felt the whole lead up to the fight. Lara looked unlike he did in the first fight because he's a huge underdog and he's coming from Mexico, and he's supposed to get beat, but this time he's the guy. He's the guy that knocked out Warrington and really, and so you saw the confidence that he exuded throughout the build up, the weigh in and everything. And I felt like he would have been on his way. So where are we at now with Warrington? Because first we look at the cut and how long it's gonna take for not only to heal, because the healing and stuff won't take that long, but what, Doc, like 6 weeks?
It can be 6 to 12, depending how deep that cut was.
Yeah.
You don't know how deep it was because they'll do multi-layer stitching.
Yeah. And then he'll start training again. I'm sure he'll start training. Can you train with a big cut? You can, right? Run and right?
Yeah, you can
run and stop. But the whole thing is like the sparring aspect is that's what we got to look at, and that's what gets you fight sharp.
That's going to take a few months just to scar up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or it won't bleed with the very first jab that hits it. So no, that's like 4 to 6 months, I'd guess.
Yeah.
So is Warrington going to wait?
So the talk right now is that like Warrington is saying, he's basically saying like that it might take, you know, who knows how long it might take. It might take up to 6 months until we see Lara back in the ring. But is Warrington wanting to wait that long, even though he's only 30? But he did say that he's 30 years old, but 30 years old, we're talking like that is like coming, then you start to come down.
Yeah.
From at that age and stuff. In your
so
peak.
He wants as many fights and paydays as he can get before he retires.
And what he was talking about the paydays was like, I was supposed to, you know, I can't do the Leeds accent, but I was supposed to beat Lara and I was gonna conquer America, make millions of dollars in my bank account and this and that. Yeah. That was supposed to happen, but it didn't. Nothing goes as expected. You know, you never know what can happen in the sport.
Both guys have a lot to lose, so you know they're both going to come out hard, and they both have a valid story, you know, where you can kind of connect with them. But at the end of the day, one guy's got to win.
Yeah, and this is what Josh Warrington said. He's like, I'm a bit of a mental case, and I don't know if the ghost of Mauricio Lara will haunt me. I'm 30. I've been out of the ring for 7 months. How long will that cut keep him out? I'm assuming by now I would be unified champion, having tipped off America and the loads of zeros in my bank. Like this is what I was just talking about is like, and then it's like the pandemic and getting chin, that's how they say getting knocked out, meant it wasn't happen. It didn't happen. I thought I want to get it over with them, but I just can't wait around too long. So
he's right.
So the next question, because they asked Kid Galahad on the network, because he was a guest host for a moment there, and they asked him like, because initially, remember when Warrington, instead of fighting a rematch that he already beat Kid Galahad, sorry, he already beat him by split decision, and instead of fighting for the IBF mandatory, he just said, forget, I'm not fighting him. You can strip me of the belt, take the belt, and then whatever. So now the talk will be him and Warrington part 2.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think for one thing, Warrington's in shape right now.
Yeah.
I think they should make that fight as soon as possible, right? Because maybe Kid Galahad, he's going to need a little bit of time to get into peak shape. And if they don't give him that time, then, you know, but the only thing is it's not for a belt either.
It is, because Galahad just picked up the IBF belt. Like, he fought another British fighter, Jazza Dickens, for the vacant IBF title that was vacated by, it was stripped from Leeds Warrior. Warrington.
Yeah.
So, okay, so today's podcast, we're talking a lot about steroids, drug use, PEDs, because the major fight that's happened this weekend, but also, so Kid Galahad, he tested positive for steroids and was banned for 2 years. And we're not talking about just like any like not a diuretic that we're going to talk about later on. We're talking about Stanzol, anabolic steroid. Right? And so then in 2015, he did 2-year ban. He did a 2-year ban, suspension. So he says this, like, what kind of excuse is this? Listen to this. His brother put it in his protein drink because they had an argument. They had an argument or a falling out, whatever, and his brother put it in there. And like, come on, man, you gotta be kidding me with, like what we're gonna talk about with like later on in that fight, Valdez was a diuretic, not a performance enhancing drug. But maybe it could have been because diuretic. But we'll talk about that anyway. So
No,
that's
because I read the latest Dan Raphael update on that.
yeah, but
The
it's
fight's
happening. Oh yeah, 100%.
But it's happening because it's VADA, which is the voluntary
yeah
arm.
Yeah.
So in their rules, and it's different from other rules, but in their rules, if you were not
outside of competition,
outside of competition, then they have no jurisdiction. And they deemed he was outside of competition.
Right.
And that's why the fight's going on. Yeah. But it wasn't a diuretic. It was the steroid.
It's not the phantamine. That's not, oh no, sorry. Phantamine. That's not a diuretic. I think it is. I think it is.
Maybe, but I read that it was a steroid that he took.
Hold on.
2 weeks outside of a fight, it doesn't make sense to take a diuretic that early.
I mean, but why not? Like he's trying to make. Oh yeah.
But that will be temporary. He'll have a sip of water in those 2 weeks, and he's got the weight back. So it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, good point.
Take a diuretic that early.
Yeah. Was it? But, yeah. Sorry, go ahead. So
that fight at least is going to be on. But these fucking guys, man, like this is a dangerous sport. You just had a death in Montreal. I mean, adding speed and power because you're on a performance enhancing drug, that's dangerous. There's some of them also enhanced by helping to dilate blood vessels to distribute oxygenated blood more sufficiently, so they don't get as tired like somebody not on those drugs.
Right.
And you know what happens when you get tired and the other guy's not? You're really vulnerable.
Yeah.
So it's bad, man. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
The fact it was found in a system off competition.
Yeah.
Well, why was he taking it if he's
and then he said it was tea. Well, let's visit that. We'll talk about that in depth because there's some other points and stuff that we have to mention about that whole story. I think it's like just quickly, it's the WBC has allowed this fight, and it was WBC along with the Pasca Yaqui Tribal Athletic Commission, because this fight's happening in Tucson, Arizona. And that's a commission there. So them and the WBC have said, even though the VADA testing, voluntary testing, showed that he used it was out of competition or whatever. But they're saying to let it go. Yeah. It's all about money. It's all about, and the WBC and Valdez is WBC Mexican.
This is a good fight. This is a guy he lost to in the amateurs, Valdez.
Yeah.
And the guy's on a win streak too. And I think he's got a perfect record so far.
16-0, 8 knockouts, Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, you can fight this guy.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just go over the other fight on that card, on the DAZN card, and we're talking about Connor the Destroyer Benn, who improves now to 19-0, 12 KOs with the unanimous decision 190, 99 to 91, and 97 to 93 over Adrian Tigra Granados from Chicago, USA. So one thing is this Granados is no slouch, right? Like he's battle tested as they come. He's fought Robert Easter, Danny Garcia, Javier Fortuna, Sean Porter, Adrian Broner. Came up short against all of them, and drew with Fortuna. Came up short, but he's still it was a good opponent for Connor. Solid. Yeah. What did you think, Doc? Did you see this one?
Yeah, I saw it. And he's very aggressive. And he's got some head movement too, which is nice to see. But he crowds the guy, but he's got power when he's crowded. Like that's a good distance for him. It works for him. That's what I thought. But he's not at that level yet. You can see
that's it. Bingo. That's it. Like if we look over the pond and we look at Virgil Ortiz or Jerome Boost Ennis, they would school this guy.
Yeah.
They would have fun with him. He's not ready yet. And who knows if he ever will be. Because at this stage, right?
Yeah.
19-0.
Yeah.
You're showing like your ability by now.
Yeah, and you could, you saw it, I saw it. He's just not as polished yet. There's a lot, and I don't think he has any amateur fights. Am I right about that?
I'm not too sure, but I don't think he had an amateur career.
I don't believe so either.
Yeah.
So, and that counts for something because that gives you so many different looks.
Yeah. Oh. Agreed.
But I thought it was an entertaining fight. He throws punches and bunches, so that's always fun.
He does look for the knockout. Like he was too much. He was loading up too much. That whole fight, he was trying to knock out. And Granados is such a wily veteran that he was moving around, doing what he had to do. He wasn't looking to win the fight. You could see that. But he was looking to make it very difficult for Connor, and he did that.
I think so. He did it. His experience, you could see. But you put him against, like you said, any of the top 147 pounders, he's going to have a bad night at the office.
Yeah, and also like today we're talking a lot about steroid use and substances and this and that, but also we're talking about COVID-19 because Connor, he tested positive for COVID-19, so this fight was originally postponed, and then it came onto this fight card with Josh Warrington.
That's right.
And this is what Connor says, like, I'll have Broner next. I'll have Broner here at the O2. I'll have him at a stadium out in America. It doesn't bother me. But Broner is definitely an opponent allowed to fight and share the ring with this year. So that's what they're looking for next, is an opponent like Broner. But like Broner, like he's 1-2-1 in his last 4 fights.
It's funny because of all the guys I thought he would call out, it was Broner.
I know.
He's one of the weakest of the bunch.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, and you're right. That's
his record. I can back that up by his record.
Right.
Last 4 fights.
Yeah, he's like he's done. He's still looking for those kind of gatekeeper type of fighters, I guess. So I don't know.
Broner's a name too, so there's a lot less risk fighting Broner, who's a name, hasn't done well in his previous 4 fights or so.
Yeah.
Way less risk for him.
Yeah.
And I think they can beat him, and they probably can.
Yeah,
the way Porter fought him.
They probably could. You're right. Then we had a women's fight, and we gotta mention Katie Taylor, because she's a WBC, IBF, WBA, WBO lightweight champion. Katie Taylor from Bray, Ireland, is now 19-0, 6 KOs. But she was forced to go the distance with Jennifer Han, and the score, who's now 18-4, one draw, one KO. All three judges scored at 100 to 89. It was, the fight wasn't that. I mean, after we saw Connor Benn go the distance, and then we had to watch something that wasn't as, we didn't see those, like, what I'm trying to refer to here is, because now the talk is Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor getting on. I really like Amanda Serrano because one is that where did I put it down here? She has like, she's 41-1, 30 KOs. 30 KOs. That's what because in women's boxing, KOs are not, they're not that, you don't see them a lot. Yeah, not that much at all, right?
Right.
And she's got 30 KOs and 42
That's an impressive
fights.
record.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
So I would like to see these two get it on, and let's see who's the best at this weight class.
Yeah. And I think she's over 30, Katie Taylor.
Yeah, she's a 2-time Olympian.
Yeah.
I'm winning a gold medal at the Olympics in 2012. Yeah.
I actually thought that I watched this fight, and Katie Taylor does throw lots of combinations. Sometimes a little recklessly, and she gets caught. But I think the fight was closer than that score indicates.
I thought it was a clear victory for her. I wasn't.
I'm not saying that, but it was closer than 100 to 89.
Yeah, that's a shutout.
Yeah.
Like a fun fact about Katie Taylor, because I think Katie Taylor is really good, because she's really humble, polite, nice. She's a good fighter, and she's a good spokesman for boxing, for women's boxing.
Yeah, absolutely.
She was in 2006 to 2009. She played on the women's national team of Ireland. You know that 11 caps she played, 11 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What sport? Sorry.
Soccer. Wow. So sorry, I didn't say that. Women's soccer, football.
Wow, she's a real athlete.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, very, very well respected. So then, Doc, we'll go over to it now. So we'll talk about the Oscar Valdez and.
Okay, one sec though.
Okay.
There's one other fight worth noting.
Oh, okay.
On the heavyweight fight, Daniel Dubois.
That wasn't on this card though.
It was. He knocked him out.
What? I don't think. No, Dubois. He fought in America. That was his first fight in America.
That was 2 weeks ago. He knocked the guy out in the first round.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. First round.
Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah. That's okay. Don't interrupt us again.
It's all this white hair. I'll try not to interrupt.
All right. Okay, so now we'll talk about it, Doc. Now we'll talk about the Oscar Valdez test positive.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah, exactly. Eh? Yeah. So we know the circumstances involved. It was the VADA testing, which he enlisted to the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association. They can test you anytime. And they tested the Conceição Conceição, the Brazilian. He's been through the same VADA testing too and stuff. So to make a long story short, testing positive for what was the name of the drug again? It was
I don't recall, but it's a steroid.
Fatamine.
Yeah, is that a steroid? I don't know. I got to do my more research on this. I thought it was a steroid.
Okay, this is what it is, Doc. It's not a steroid. Like that's a thing. Like it's not like we're not talking about Galahad, that anabolic steroids and this is what the WBC statement was about it. That it's a medicine that suppresses the appetite and does not give any competitive advantage.
Oh, it's like amphetamines. That's the yeah.
So it suppresses the appetite.
Yeah.
But then also too, it's a masking agent too, because of what it does. It masks other steroids.
Oh wow. Interesting.
So I was go ahead.
No, so go on.
No, I was reading a lot about what people are saying about this fight and stuff in the comments. And most of them, what I read is that he's Valdez is a cheater. He's a cheat. And so and I actually watched an interview today with Valdez and Mark Kriegel. He's really good with ESPN and ESPN. He's on ESPN. Anyways, so he goes. Valdez basically says like all the hard work that I've seen this guy. I watch him work because I follow him. I watch him train. I've always been very, very impressed with the amount of work that he puts in. It's unbelievable. He's like all the hard work that I do, all the training that I do, and something like this happens. It everybody forgets about all that, what I've done, and they just think of this now. And that's really what's happening now.
But isn't that what human beings naturally do?
Yeah. Right? Yeah, exactly. So what do you expect us not to overlook it and just be like, okay, be conscientious, and then let's see.
You know, when if I have a day where I've seen 20 patients, let's say, and 19 of them are awesome, you know, it's a positive experience between the two of us when they leave.
Yeah.
But I got one out of those 20 that's just not behaving well, is cranky, is whatever. Then I go home, and who am I thinking about? Not the 19 great ones. I'm thinking about the one dude.
Because it sticks out more, right?
It sticks out more, and that's human nature, and that's the same with why people are focusing on what happened recently to him, and not all the other great hard stuff he does.
So, like, we have to throw in like the camp that he's with, and then we're gonna talk about then again Canelo, like another positive test from Canelo. I know we've talked about it and stuff, and you explained it to me, but still, but apparently, like with that, I guess like now whatever doping agency that tested him and for the clenbuterol came out, they've now realized, or they made it a known fact that in Mexico it happens, that with tainted beef. That so I guess if you test positive, then it's basically like, oh, in Mexico, if you're Mexican, test positive, then it's pushed to the side.
Well, but the other thing is the tests they do now for a lot of this stuff, they're very sensitive to the smallest amounts. So just because you have it in your system in a small amount, it doesn't mean that it's enough to be effective, right? So that's what it was with Canelo, is that they found these really small amounts of it, and that probably wouldn't have enhanced his performance anyways. And at least there was a viable reason as to why even a small amount was there. So that's pretty convincing. I think that it probably was from the meat.
Yeah. But regardless of what of that, there's a big cloud now over the Eddie Reynoso camp.
Totally, and rightly so.
Because first you're talking about a trainer of the year, Reynoso, because you got Brian Garcia, Canelo, Valdez, the Cuban Sanchez, the heavyweight. But now what? There's a big cloud over this. So, anyways, to make this fight is still gonna happen this weekend. We're still gonna see it. Now, what if something happens to Conceição? Like, what if he gets like severely injured and stuff, and then what's gonna happen?
It's a good question.
Right?
It's a good question.
Because like, that whatever he was taking, he said it was herbal tea too, that how he got into a system. We're hearing all these funny reasons of why my brother spiked my protein drink. Like, that's crazy.
It is crazy to me. Just fess up. Fess up. Be honest. Tell the truth. The truth will set you free.
Too much money on the line to do that, because once you say you did, that's it. Everyone's gonna. I don't think people would give a guy a second chance in boxing if they said, "Oh yeah, I use steroids. I apologize." Right? If they deny it. There's still that little that he may not have, and
you're right. Maybe you're right. Yeah. As much as it pains me to say, you could be right.
Okay. All right. So, anyways, Doc.
Yep.
So there's a whole bunch of COVID people coming down with COVID and fights being canceled because of it. And we'll just talk about quickly the Vito Belfort. It's kind of funny, this fight. And Evander Holyfield, because originally it was supposed to be Oscar De La Hoya fighting Vito Belfort. And I was interested in that because I love De La Hoya. I'd love to see what he has.
Yeah. So he's not fighting.
Now De La Hoya is out because he contracted COVID-19, and he had some videos from his hospital bed and stuff, and he looked all like anyways. But now this fight is gonna happen this weekend as well too, at the Seminole Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Holyfield against Vito Belfort. Aged of Holyfield's 58, Belfort 44. Do we need to mess around with the heads?
What are we doing, man? Why is this? So he passed, I guess, with flying colors. His medical.
I guess apparently, originally where they were gonna have it.
Yeah, what state?
I think was they had to switch it because they wouldn't give Holyfield the green light. So
see, man,
I think it was in Vegas, or I can't remember, California.
So how could one's commission say no, you're not fit to fight?
Yeah,
too risky, and another commission say, yeah, you're fine.
But that's a whole thing with like rules in boxing. Like, this sanctioning body has these rules, and they differ from this. There should be all across the board, right?
Yeah, but rules. Even if the rules are different, when it comes to health and safety,
it's different.
Generally,
right.
You're gonna land, if you're honest, you're gonna land on the same page from state to state.
Yeah.
It's when somebody in that chain is dishonest,
right,
that it's not going to be consistent, or it'll appear to be non-consistent when it actually is. So somebody's lying.
Yeah.
there's no, I don't know. We don't know what his health is like. Maybe he's in unusually really good health.
No, another thing about that, okay, because I actually Eddie, he sent me, we were talking about it today, and he sent me a video of Holyfield on the pads, and he was like, and I was just like, oh my god, I hope like he's gonna get hurt. He doesn't look good on the pads. I know it's just pads, but usually when you go on the pads and you put it on like Instagram or social media, you're doing it because you want to impress people. You don't want to show them like, oh, or is he trying to trick us? I don't know. But then you look at Vito Belfort. I saw some stuff of him hitting the pads, and he's 44. There's a big difference in age too.
There's a bigger difference when you go from 44 to 68. You know, than from like 28 to 48.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
That once you're at 68, I mean, there's risk. There's more risk, especially with this history.
Then another fight that was going to be very mouth-watering, and that's the third fight between Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez and a rubber match with Juan Francisco Estrada. And
Estrada, man.
Yeah. Well, he shouldn't have won that fight. It should have been Roman. Should have got that one. I know we debated this. Yeah, Roman won that fight, man. And anyways, this fight was.
Did he win the fight? What?
Yeah, he should have.
The ref lifted his arm.
He didn't. This is like the GGG and Canelo first fight. That GGG one.
You know what I remember? You know what I remember most about that fight?
Yeah.
$20 bet.
Yeah.
And I remember you at the end of the fight, before they announced the decision, you came over and I gave you my money. Yeah. And then it was a decision, it was a draw. And I came over to you, and the look on your face when you had to give it back was hilarious. I don't remember the fight. I just remember that moment.
Oh man. That just summed it up right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and this was gonna be on Matchroom. Estrada contracted COVID-19, so this fight is off. Might land in November now or something. We'll see.
That's a lot of postponements, eh?
Yeah, a lot of another fight. Since we're talking about postponements, is which I was really excited about. Brandon Figueroa, 22-0,
right.
17 KOs, and against Stephen Fulton Jr., 19-0, 8 KOs. Figueroa was he had to withdraw because he contacted COVID-19, and that's it for that fight for now.
Man, what's happening in these camps where the bug's getting in? That's what I'm curious about.
I think one thing, Doc, is like, I don't know, like the sweating and stuff doesn't increase the chances, does it? Like sweating on somebody and
it does if it hits them in the mouth or the eye.
Yeah. So I'm sure that happened because you're sparring, you're in close contact.
Yeah. So was one of the sparring partners bringing it into the gym? I don't know. You got guys going in and out all the time.
Yeah, these training camps, like this has been a regular occurrence right now with the coming down with COVID.
Well, gyms, that's why gyms had to close down. They were, they were really a good spreader of the virus. So
yeah.
I get it. But man, those gyms, those camps got to be so careful, so tight. Have to have like constant screening.
Especially when there's a lot of money on the line. Like you want your fighter to be safe and stuff, and you want him to be able to go take that fight. Everyone gets paid from that.
Yeah. That was, oh man, I was excited about that fight too.
That would have been a fun one. Woo. But this is another fight that, the on and off again, on again, off again, and that's George Cambosos Jr. And Teofimo Lopez fight that's been on and off and on and off. Now is gonna happen apparently for sure October 4th at Madison Square Garden. Sorry, Madison Square Garden's Hulu Theater in New York. Originally, they're supposed to fight October 5th, which is a Monday, but since there was, oh no, sorry, a Tuesday, but it was switched to Monday to avoid um apparently the New York Yankees playoff game because they should be in the playoffs or something.
So this is on a Monday night, this fight?
Yeah.
4th is a Monday?
It's a Monday night. Yeah, it is. It's Triller too, on Triller.
Okay, I want to see that fight.
I forgot to mention one thing with the Belfort and Holyfield fight. That's on Triller too. Then you got we had the return of Jim Lampley.
Oh wow! On Triller.
Yeah, Jim Lampley
cool.
is going to be. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't we ever miss Jim Lampley, man? Like, I don't know why networks didn't pick him up ASAP.
I know he's the voice of boxing, isn't he?
He was always great. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it'll be nice to hear him again. And
then on this same card, but they're having I think it's the online stream or whatever, online something. Yeah. Donald Trump is the commentator. Donald Trump.
That's hilarious.
Triller's really trying to, get something going there.
They are.
Let's see if it works out or not.
Yep. You'll get all the lefties tuning in.
Yeah.
They love to hate him.
Oh yeah, for sure, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a Trump supporter, eh?
No, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a leftist and I'm not a rightist. I'm a centrist.
Okay.
I'm right down the middle, baby. A good idea is a good idea. I don't care which side it comes from.
Yeah, you're right.
That's my politics. Oh man.
Okay, Doc, and then just the fights that are coming up.
Yeah.
So let me just mention, I think I talked to you about him before, but he's gonna be on this fight card on the Coleman event under Valdez's fight, and that's Gabe Flores Jr.
Yeah.
And Gabe Flores is 20-0, 7 KOs, super featherweight. I really like this kid. He's only 20. Yeah, he's 21 from Stockton, California. Very good fighter. I really like this kid. He's fighting Luis Alberto Lopez Vargas, who's 22-2. So that's going to be a good fight.
Good record.
Flores one thing with Flores is he's a really good fighter. He's just not a power puncher.
Right,
he doesn't really get rid of guys, but if you beat them, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, I just watched a fight that was on a little while ago. It was Methylene, the guy from South Africa.
Mthalani,
that's it.
Yeah, against Sonny Edwards.
Edwards.
Yeah, that was
there's a guy also that doesn't have power, but he
just boxed good, didn't he?
Box.
Yeah, we talked about he picked up the IBF belt from that when they're super flyweight, and there's another fight he was supposed to fight coming on.
That's right.
And then he had an ankle injury, and
that's right.
He's out. Sonny Edwards. I like that kid. Good fighter.
Yeah, but another guy, not a lot of power, but knows how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And can fight orthodox or unorthodox.
And you gotta give fighters like that so much credit because they gotta work harder because they don't have that sting to keep you off of them. Like we saw Kalani was on him the whole fight, right?
Yeah, but he has a very good check hook, right hook.
Yeah.
And he's also he can punch going backwards. He really punches a lot while he's in motion. He's He's a clever fighter. I like watching him. I want to see him, and he's young too. I'd like to see him fight again.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got canceled as well.
Ankle injury.
Yeah.
We got some big fights in the heavyweight division coming up.
Yep.
Late September and then early October, and we have Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what do you think about that one, Doc?
I just think Usyk in general is just not big enough for the division.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think he's he's an amazing top cruiserweight, maybe the best in the world.
Yeah.
Probably. But as heavyweight, he's giving up too much size. Yeah. We saw that with the Chisora fight.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly how I feel.
Lower tier of the heavyweights. No offense, Chisora, but that's
no, you're right. You're right.
The ratings, yeah.
Then we have what other fights we have? So let's go over to then October 9th, and that's the big one. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, the third fight is finally going to happen. We'll see, because remember, and then Tyson, he got COVID-19 and he was out of their fight. Now it's rescheduled for the 9th of October. And that the undercard is good too. Afe Ajagbe is fighting Frank Sanchez. That's a good heavyweight tilt.
I love Ajagbe. He's great.
Yeah, it's a good fighter.
Yeah, scary dude, man.
Robert Helinas is in a rematch with that Adam Konowaki, the Polish fighter.
Yeah. And
then Jerry Big Baby Anderson versus Vladimir Chershkin. I don't really know who that is. Vladimir, I don't know who Vladimir is. But Jared Big Baby Anderson is a real prospect.
Yeah, he is. He's a big boy.
Doc, this fight, I'm so excited for October 23rd in Atlanta at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta. We have Jamal Herring and Shakur Stevenson, and they had the press conference. They had one of the face-to-face meetups today between the two, and I love the confidence in Shakur. You know, it's overconfident. Yeah, it is, but man, this kid backs it up, and you know, I think this kid. You know what I feel about Shakur Stevenson. I think he's the best the best out of the prospect of fighters, and we're talking like Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz and these guys. That he may be the best one.
It's possible. I'm not convinced yet.
Let's see how he beats Herring. Oh, if he beats Herring and how he does it.
Yeah, I think he'll be the Vegas odds favorite in that fight.
For sure.
But cannot underestimate Herring, man.
Definitely not.
He's got more pro experience than Stevenson. He's crafty.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to win, but I'm saying that it's not going to be an easy fight for Stevenson.
We'll see. This kid is full of youth and then what it was he's saying, he's like, man, what? He's like, Stevenson's like, what? Could you beat Little Frampton? Frampton's like, Little Frampton's. Man, these guys are just too much, man.
That's funny.
November 6th, we have the return of Canelo Alvarez, and he's fighting Caleb Plant. And my thought on that quickly is just that Caleb Plant does not have the power to keep off Canelo, and Canelo is going to keep coming. He may give him difficulty because boxers do give Canelo difficulty. Is Randy Lara? He gave a lot of difficulty to Canelo. Obviously Mayweather. He has problems with those kind of fighters. What do you think, Doc?
I agree. He does.
Nice. Yeah,
I hear what you're saying, but it's again, look at the opponents of Caleb Plant. And look who Canelo has fought.
Yeah, it's a whole different league.
Like we always say, there's levels, and I think Caleb Plant is a top guy. But but the experience, and the experience also under the big lights like that too. It's Canelo, man.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see him beating Canelo. I think Canelo's at the top of his game. I think he's the pound for pound best right now.
Yeah, he's too strong. He's too strong. It's like a brick house.
Yeah,
you gotta give Caleb Plant credit though. Like, and he waited out for that 10 million purse, and then they said yes. Then they know the whole fight was nixed and everything, and then it was on again. So he's gonna get paid, like really big payday.
He should. He should. Because he's going to make it exciting too. This guy fights and he's got skill.
Billy Joe Saunders got 5 million. So out of these, Caleb Plant and Billy Joe Saunders, we're looking at Caleb Plant's the better fighter out of those two. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, sure. Then Doc, we loved David Benavidez, and David Benavidez and Jose Azataki. They're fighting and now it's rescheduled because Benavidez had COVID-19 too.
That's right. Another guy, yeah.
Oh, this thing is not confirmed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is the tentative date.
And he's fighting, how do you pronounce that guy's name?
Jose Azataki.
Azataki, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, a good fighter. A good fighter, but he lost to
was it Durrell? Yeah, and Caleb Plant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Caleb Plant beat him pretty good.
Yeah, he did. He really did, actually. He looked real good, Plant, in that fight.
Yeah.
Actually, no slouch.
Actually, the Durrell fight was when Durrell, I think Oztaki hit him. Durrell when he wasn't really like, he wasn't on the knee or anything. I forget what happened. It was something like that. But then the fight got, I think it was like a disqualification or something. Then Durrell's was it cousin or whatever goes over to the corner of Oztaki, and you see in slow motion Oztaki just like talking in his corner. This guy comes over, bang, gave him a shot in the face, like, and you saw his face just go. You ever see that?
I think I have. Yeah.
That was sad to see that.
Yeah, real brave guy. Punches a guy with bare-fisted when he's not even looking.
Bare-fisted.
Sucker punch.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a piece of crap move.
Do you remember that?
Do
you remember that one time? And this will be the last thing that we're done. But that one fight, and I remember this fight vividly because actually I think they were honoring. Were they honoring 9/11 firefighters or whatever, police in New York and stuff? That card on ESPN, and it was a Butler. I forget his first name, but he was fighting Michael Clark. Michael Clark, I think he was a British fighter. He won all the rounds basically, and before they announced they announced the decision. They put up Clark's hand. And Butler, bang, punched him, knocked him out. And he was like convulsing on the ground. And just in front of all this 9/11, the police and all that. And he went
disgusting.
to, yeah, unbelievable, eh?
Yeah, I'm sure he paid a hefty price for it.
He ended up killing Max Kellerman's brother. That's what that was, I think. After that, this guy was crazy. Butler.
I gotta look that up. That's a crazy story.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, Doc, we're done.
Awesome.
We're done, and then we'll talk this weekend. Let's see what happens in this fight, and hopefully Conceição doesn't get hurt. Because we have somebody that's going to be not filled with steroids, still having the remnants of steroids in his system, right?
True. Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see what happens.
Okay, Doc.
Okay, man.
All right. Peace out.
Peace
We
out.
out. We out.